Welcome to LettiSpeaks, where we turn pain into passion and find meaning through experience. Every day is a new day to find joy in the moment and live life abundantly. We speak and we listen and we don't take it lightly. Let's jump in and see what Spirit has to say. Welcome to today's reading. Today we'll be talking about the seasonal changes taking place around the winter solstice. This reading is actually for those of us that have been really introspected and really inwardly focused. This gives an opportunity to bring in or shed some light around the outer energies, even from a world perspective. And so, so this is an opportunity to just embrace or bring grace and gratitude to the forefront for everything that's happening. Welcome. I am delighted to be able to bring the enlightenment to you around this energy that we'll explore today. Thank you for stopping by. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. My name is Letty, and what I do is I take a look into the cards and I use my intuition to read into the energies in bringing out the connection with spirit, bringing out a greater understanding of what's happening right now around us or in this season as we're transferring through different seasons of life. And so I take pleasure in doing that for myself first and then also sharing that with others as well. And so welcome if you're new and you are resonating with my energy. I feel like everybody that stops by, there is some reason, even though there are some that may not stay, there is some reason why you stop by to peer in today. And if you find a calling to tap in and to be a part of what I'm doing, definitely subscribe. For those of you that are returning, thank you for allowing me to continue to speak into your life, for you know that I don't take it lightly. And so welcome, 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 welcome one, welcome all. A few different ways that you can support. You are more than welcome to like, share, comment. There's a link down below if you are interested in scheduling a personal up close reading that's going to be very personal for you. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look in and get started. So I'm actually working from my Light Tarot deck and my Priestess Light Oracle deck. And also I have a couple of other decks if I feel led to pull for some clarification. One is the original Rider-Waite tarot deck. And then I also have a couple of other options as well. And so thank you again for stopping by. Let's go ahead and get started. Today is a beautiful day. I hope everything is going well for you also. And so to begin this reading, we'll take a look at the ancestral energy around right now. And how that is actually coming into play, the energies that your ancestral energies are taking place in, and then what potential opportunities or gifts they are bringing in right now. Okay. And before getting started, I just want to make a disclaimer. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it resonates, beautiful. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Not everything is going to resonate for everyone. And again, this is a general reading, tapping into different energies present here. If you want to get a more specific reading, you are more than welcome to tap on my link below to pull a specific personal reading just for you. Okay. With that being said, and so let's see, for our first card, we have the Five of Cups, bringing in the energy that's currently in place. Your ancestor is bringing in this energy. And then the potential available through this energy is the Seven of Wands. And with the ancestors, I feel like the energy that's being pulled in and focused on right now is the Five of Vessels, which represents the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups sometimes can deal with the energy of loss, but even more than that, it's dealing with focusing on not necessarily what was lost, but focusing on what has been left, what was not burned in the fire, and taking that and realizing the value of that, learning the lessons around what has been lost and the pain felt as a result of that, cultivating a more secure container, a more secure, in this case, a more secure basket to contain and to house and to protect what has been left in spite of what is realized, what has been lost. So it's a taking a look at everything that has happened up until this point, considering the past, the present, and moving forward towards the future, and securing what it is that you have left. It's time to really weave a more secure basket, is what I'm feeling. Um, and really center yourself in the present, not be drawn away or stuck in the past and the pain of what was lost, but really focus your energy on what's here now and how you can cultivate that and grow that and protect that as you move forward. It's really, I feel like the ancestors are bringing in the energy of taking a look right now in this moment, in the present, and grounding your perspective around that, focusing on that, but also taking into consideration how you've come to where you are right now. Looking back, in the past with the regretful perspective is not really helpful, and it doesn't change anything. And so this is really bringing in the energy of counting what you have right now, and then centering your energy and your focus on that as you move forward to future potentials. I feel like that's the energy that the ancestors are bringing in. And with how you can actually use that to manifest forward, we have the Seven of Wands. With this card, I'm getting a really strong energy of protection. Um, with the fire, and it's almost like there are sticks that are, you know, being brought in. It's almost like securing a perimeter, right, around the fire, around the potential, around the value of what it is that needs to be protected. It's holding a strong conviction as well and a point of view. And sometimes that becomes the contention of others. But in this case, I feel like this is what is needed. right? As you move forward, considering where you've been, even in terms of your bloodline, because we're zooming out from a personal perspective and we're talking about going past your personal experience and almost looking at it from a greater span of view. And so that perspective of holding a strong conviction or holding um, your point of view, this could, in fact, and may have caused you to feel at times like you were kind of cornered because of that. Still, and yet, it's necessary more than ever in this position as you move forward. This is actually going to serve as the it's going to serve as the tool or the energy that's going to actually allow you to move forward and be successful with what needs to be done, what's being handed off to you. And so, more than ever, it's necessary to be very secure and connected to hold to your convictions securely. But that doesn't mean always feeling like you're right, right? There's always room for learning, and so hold it securely, but also with an open heart, right? Also understanding that what it is that you do is actually affecting everything around you. Like it's like a fire that spreads. And so with this potential, there is a lot of responsibility that comes with this as well. And so I'm almost getting the energy. This is empowering and positioning you as you move forward, really to live by example and carry forward what it is that you've been given. I almost also get the energy of being able to walk in someone's shoes. There's going to be experiences that you'll have as you carry this forward from your ancestors that's going to allow you to embody some of their experiences and understand a little bit deeper, like how they came to be and how you came to be as the generations were carried forward. It's almost like embodying the experiences of those that came before you. There could be a level of some type of mantle that's being passed off to you, that's being passed off right now with this energy. Very strong ancestral energy. And this may, in fact, be something that's going to awaken you to things greater than yourself. At some point, we began to understand that the world is so much bigger than what we've experienced. This experience is going to dismantle many of the beliefs that you've carried forth to this point, this far. And it's going to refine the possibilities of what is that you may or may not know. And so there is a level of conviction, I feel like, that you carry with this mantle that you've been given. There's a level of conviction that you carry without having to say a word, without having to do anything. There's something about the energy that you carry that challenges others. And because of that, there's also the mirroring of that energy. And so in turn, they will challenge you because of the energy that you carry. And so that's why it's important to have such a strong level of conviction, but carrying it with an open heart, carrying it with compassion, carrying it with humility of being open to learning, because there's still a lot that you don't know. And that's part of this experience that's being brought in for you to experience. And so this is the energy that the ancestors are bringing in with the Five of Vessels and the Seven of Wands. All right. So mentally, right now, the energy in place mentally is the Keeper of Coins. This has the potential, where you are mentally right now, has the potential to open up opportunities and actually manifest gifts in terms of what the Fool has to bring. So I feel like mentally, with the Keeper of Coins, you are currently experiencing this um, almost like the experience of being like a tree planted, right? Having the transient body tied into the energy cycle of the earth. It's almost like you are experiencing how you actually are able to harness what you need skillfully, right? Materially, energetically, right? It's almost like there's a learning that's happening mentally. You're becoming aware of this. You're focused on this. You're learning about this, and you are practicing this skillfully, this manifestation energy. I feel very strongly. And the responsibility of that, of the reciprocation of what you would take and what needs to be given, like keeping that in balance mentally, what it means to be abundant, right? The fact that it's not just a physical receiving of things, but it's so much more than that. There's like an exploration around that energy, and a learning, even a mastering of that energy, right? It's so much more than just going out and trying to collect things or gain some type of wealth. It's so much more than that. It's almost like, in the way that that tree is connected with the earth, there's like a oneness that you are coming into the understanding of, that you have with everything around you. Being in the physical realm, you're understanding your oneness with everything around you, and how everything is energy, and your power to actually dictate that flow, that reciprocation, right? What you put out is what you receive. And so there is a level of consistency and practice and skill and mastery around understanding that and keeping that in the flow, keeping that in practice. And so mentally, that's the energy that I feel, that's happening mentally within you in relation to everything around you. And because you're having that energy take place within your mental being, it has the potential to actually manifest the gifts through the Fool. And so, what the Fool comes to bring is this very pure, unreserved energy, this very adventurous energy. It's an energy a little naive and unskilled, somebody willing to go out and experience new things, willing to start again, very faithful, very hopeful, right? It sees the good or the opportunity with what is available, right? Even though there's no definite conclusion, it goes in seeing the possibility in everything, or what is in front of it. And so, because of where you are mentally, this is the type of opportunities or the type of gifts that are being brought to you through this mindset that you have taken on. And it's almost a very open, adventurous energy. This energy says that ignorance is bliss. I'll go without having to know. I just want to see what it is, right? So ignorance is bliss, but it also welcomes this energy of risk, right? There's the energy of having the awareness that there could be some type of risk involved, but there's the understanding that through this, the end goal is the receptiveness of endless experiences and wisdom to be embraced through the open doors that are present for you. And what is sticking out to me on these two cards is the key. And so this is the key that's being given through this mental positioning that you're in that actually is going to allow you to enter into spaces and opportunities and experiences that not everyone is able to have. Not everyone is privileged to actually be welcomed into these type of experiences and adventures. And there's two sides to this. As you see this wave, there's like this side that is the unknown, and then there's the side where the eye is wide open, right? There's two sides to this. And I feel like it's a part of shedding the light on the unknown or on the side that's less taken, on the path less taken. And this is really about you deciding to really be at the helm, you know, of this direction that you're taking, or be in the driver's seat and be able to really steer in the direction that you decide. And releasing any expectation of a result, right? It's almost like walking with faith, you know, kind of having a picture of what it is that you would desire, but not knowing exactly how that will end up. Just being willing to step out on faith and take chances and take the opportunity to go and experience things that you otherwise would not be able to experience if you always took the obvious path. And so, that's the gift of the energy that is being brought because of where you are mentally. And let me just add that though the Fool actually is considered to be a little unstable because it's venturing out into no man's land. It's venturing out into a space that is really unrecognizable. There's no way to tell like how it's going to end, but that's the beauty of it. The stability that you're coming from actually provides the stability to be able to step out in this way. And that is the stability that you carry as you step out into the unknown. You're stable within yourself, which allows you to actually continue that level of stability, even if everything around you doesn't seem stable or seems unsure, unknown. You bring the level of stability as you move forward and explore. So mentally, you could be experiencing, as I had stated, with your ancestors, they were bringing in experiences from their lifetime, from their experiences of wisdom that they've accumulated, and they want you to actually share in that. They want to give that to you as a gift to broaden your level of perspective and understanding and wisdom. And so there's a lot that you are being afforded right now as it pertains to experience, as it pertains to cultivating. Mentally, you're on a journey right now. And again, it's one that has been less traveled. If you know, you know. So that's the energy coming in mentally for the winter solstice, taking a look at the energies that are placed and providing opportunities from that placed energy as well. Um, and so mentally, things could be very exciting. They feel exciting to me. It feels very privileged to me. Um, and not a lot of people may understand like where you are or where you're coming from right now. And that's okay because it's a journey. We're all on journeys. Um, Sometimes our journeys will intersect at different points where we'll be able to understand each other, but there's parts of the journeys where we'll travel alone. And I feel like this is giving that type of energy very much so with the Fool. All right. So physically, we're going to take a look at within your body right now. Um, we have the moon. And I'm definitely getting physically. And so, with that level of tapping in and knowing parts of yourself more intimately, this could be that energy coming in is connecting um, with the unknown parts of your physical self and understanding a little bit more about how you are intertwined and connected unconsciously with everything around you. There could be things that were hidden, up to this point that is actually being discovered through your physical body, through your body. Like how, especially if you're someone that's been connecting, learning how to connect with your body. Um, and there's different ways that you can do that, like through meditation. You could definitely, there's other ways you can do that as well. I'm sure learning about your chakras, um, doing certain physical exercises. Like there's a ton of different ways that you can tap in and connect with your body. And so physically, there is a level of awareness, I feel like, that you are being able to connect with yourself physically, subconsciously, right? Things are being brought to the light. There could be things that you're understanding about your physical body that is being made aware right now. The moon talks about the unknown parts or the remaining aspects from the missing elements of your journey or your path. So the moon is actually a reflection of the sun, and it actually casts a partial light, which gives the moon its brilliance. And so, because it is a reflection of the sun, which means that there is a part that is unknown. And so, with that, I feel like with your body, there's something that could be coming to light right now that you're learning physically about yourself. There could be still a lot that's unknown, um, in terms of where it is that you're headed, or it could be in terms of complete understanding of how your physical body plays a part and connects with everything. I almost get the energy of something subconsciously or intuitively that you're picking up on as you move forward, when it comes to your body and how it relates, to your spiritual journey, to the subconscious. And so, and this could even be like learning about how your physical body is actually an extension of your spiritual body, right? And what I mean by that is there's different ways for your body to actually intuitively sense what's going on around it, right? We have all of the what we call the clairs, clairaudience, clairsentient, clairgustience. Um, there's like a bunch of different clairs, like 7 or more, and it talks about your physical body intuitively using its intuition to tap into the spiritual realm, right? And so this could actually allude to that, you tapping in, using your body to tap in spiritually to what's around you, to the physical realm around you. And the moon actually talks about this part that's yet being uncovered, or that is in the process. You're currently uncovering that, or tuning into that, or becoming aware of that. And you may very well be in the process of learning what that is or how that works, and how that has actually played a very significant part in your role on your path in this lifetime. There's also another a significant thing with the moon. Like the moon actually is very instrumental, when it comes to the different phases or the different cycles, as it connects to our bodies, right? Especially for women, we kind of know a little bit about that, how the moon has a very methodical, way of each phase tapping in or releasing something or bringing something into completion and connecting to our very physical beings. And it's not just us, but it's to the earth overall, right? The moon has the ability to affect the way the waves, the physical water on the body moves. It affects how high the tide, rises, how far, the tide comes in on the shore. The moon is a very um, mysterious is a good word. It's a very mysterious element, right? And so this may very well talk about when it comes to your physical existence, your physical body, there's a level of uncovering that's happening right now. And because of that, Because of that awareness and that connection, that subconscious connection that you have, because that is coming to light, the giftings, the opportunities that are present through the placement of this moon being in your physical element right now is bringing in the Nine of Wands. And with the Nine of Wands, there's a ripening that's happening. While this process was unfolding and taking place, and you have sat and you have waited. See the moon behind the stalk? You have sat and you have waited. During this waiting period, there has been an element of richness and sweetness that has been cultivated. Recall everything that has led to this point, this moment in your life, and realize how much the wait was worth it, right? I hope I said that right. How much it has been worth the wait, right? And it's almost like having to really sit and wait for your crops to come to fruition so that you can partake in the fruits of your labor, right? But when that season comes around where you're able to digest the goodness of the land that you've cultivated and tilled and cropped, right? It makes it that much sweeter and that much richer, right? When you're able to finally eat. And this could be around the energy of possibly having moments where you feel like possibly you've had to wait. Your crops took a bit longer, to come to fruition than others. And put it where it applies. Or it took you a little bit longer to catch on to ideas or systems of how things work, or some type of important cause or purpose. But there's a level of patience that you've been afforded through this process that's been cultivated within you. And it's giving you the ability to create your own lane, to walk on your own path, to experience your own journey, and come to your own conclusion. And so, along with that is your ability to bring others into your experience. I feel like is the actual potential or the actual gift that you're manifesting. It's this energy of being able to pull others into this experience that you've had. Excuse me, that you've had. I'm still trying to get over this cough. It's horrible. Um, and so it's the ability to bring others in to this experience that you've had and taking them along the journey to catch on to important ideas or important causes that you have become aware of. And so this is also kind of like that energy of patience that you've cultivated. Like you'll be very tapped in and with that ability to really understand and feel what's going on in the physical realm. Like it gives you that energy or that ability to understand deeper what's happening. And with that understanding, there'll be a level of patience that you'll be able to offer and explore and experience as you're leading others into this experience. Because there is a need to not feel like you have to rush people, just like you weren't rushed through this. This was an experience that had to happen in its own unique time, and it unfolded uniquely according to what it is that you needed. And so there's a level of this patience that you hold in the process of bringing others into this experience, that's going to give that level of um, empathy. Like you'll be able to tap in and feel where they are, what they feel like. There's a deep level of intuitiveness coming with this gift as you connect with people on their journey. And with that, in that deep level of intuition, it allows you to tap in and also see what it is that's needed without having to feel like you have to force anything. It gives you a deeper level of connection. And again, going back to that gifting that the ancestors were giving, it's almost like you'll be able to walk in other shoes, right? You'll be able to feel like what it is that they're experiencing. Yeah. This is part of the giftings that's coming in for you. This may very well be, again, tied into the clairs, right? We've all been given gifts. It depends on which ones we're tapped into, which ones are strongest, but whatever this is going to allow you to place yourself in other people's shoes, if that makes sense. So you're going to be able to feel what they're feeling or experience what they're experiencing. And with that comes a deeper level of empathy. You'll understand deeper, right? Which gives a greater level of patience, a greater level of knowing what's needed, when it's needed. Yeah. And so physically, in your body, this is what's being experienced right now. The giftings are coming in. And these giftings, I feel like, have been cultivated around your own experiences. May very well be things that you're actually exploring and becoming aware of with the moon here right now. Within your heart, the place in your heart right now is coming through as the Eight of Swords. Hope this shimmer isn't terribly off-putting for this. And then what that's bringing to light and your giftings, heart-wise, is the Crown of Coins. In your heart. So the Eight of Swords gives a very interesting insight as it connects to the heart. And so the Eight of Swords right now could be a time where if you are in a place where you are isolated or restricting yourself, not from people, but from new perspectives. This is where we're talking about new perspectives, accessing new ways of seeing things or experiencing things, right? There's sometimes we can create this prison for ourselves, and it stems from the energy of fear or exhaustion that actually arises from doubt, chains of doubt that come and slither in from different directions. And so this acts to, and on this sword we have an eye, which talks about perception, being able to see clearly. And so this card is actually examining what the blindfold could be, right? And when it comes to the heart, I guess this could also be like a physical isolation, but I feel like it's more a spiritual isolation or a mental isolation. But because we're talking about the heart, these are things that would actually come in and breed life, right? It's new perspectives, it's new experiences, ways that you can experience things in life. And unlike the hermit, which is talks about this isolation, which is very purposeful. It's isolation for spiritual um, tuning. Hermit brings in isolation for spiritual growth, for self-reflection, and the need to pursue guidance. This type of isolation is breeded out of fear of something, right? Fear of some type of punishment if you allow, a new perspective to come in, or a new experience that might actually cause you to grow or to see things differently. It's that kind of energy. So, unlike the hermit, which is a healthy way of self reflection, it's a form to reflect internally. This is bred out of fear or doubt or even shame, right? And so this is calling in the heart space to kind of take a look at this energy that may be kind of shielding or an attempt to protect you from something that's actually going to enlighten you and may actually bring in a level of transformation, with how you experience things. So your heart is being challenged with the Eight of Swords. Through that challenge, though, the giftings that would actually come from this, if this challenge is met with a healthy level of exploration and acceptance, through this, what's being offered as the potential gift on the other side is the crown of coins. And there's a great level of responsibility that comes with the crown of coins, because the crown of coins is actually, interestingly, it's the um, counterpart to the keeper of coins. The keeper of coins is the queen of pentacles. This is the king of pentacles. And so with this ability to open up to that exploration within your heart, to kind of see things differently, allow yourself to experience something from a different perspective, from that would be born um, this offset of pride. It's a level of humility that takes us back to, or reminds us often of, where we came from. And it reminds us of, even though we have, or we will, if you have not yet, you will actually climb to great heights, right, of leadership, of attainment. It's a reminder of where you've come from, and also the level of responsibility that comes with great riches or great abundance. And so, if you're able to allow yourself to open and experience what's calling in through your heart, there is a level of abundance that will be brought in. There's a gifting of abundance that you will be able to receive and operate within. And within this is the responsibility of leadership, right? The distribution and the sharing of energy and the wealth, and also a level of discipline required to maintain what it is that you have been given. Yeah, along with this comes the ability to stay sober minded, no matter how much you're given, right? No matter how high you climb, it's remembering from the depths which you've climbed to get where you are, from where you started. It's maintaining this level of humility, staying grounded, you know, within reality, in your body, and, staying connected with yourself, with your higher source, right? Even though you've been given this great position to operate from. Okay. And so this is the gifting that's being born out through the heart, a level of abundance. And I feel like this could definitely be your ability to accumulate wealth from what it is that is being introduced or offered to you within the heart space. So, additionally, what I'm getting within the heart, I feel like overall, there is a level of abundance that wants to come in. But because there could be things that are being restricted, or your ability to receive um, the manifestation of this abundance, however that wants to come in, that could be restricting this flow from coming in, from you actually attaining this particular gift that's coming in towards you. So, what might be helpful here is to really attune to um, even the thoughts that come up around certain circumstances as it pertains to being open and explorative and being able to see things from a different perspective that maybe you hadn't viewed them before, or maybe because of the way that they are coming in, there's some type of restriction that's being placed on that for you. And so maybe that needs to be looked at a little bit deeper. Somehow this is definitely tied into the heart space. Um, yeah. I do want to get a little bit more information here when it comes to the heart space. This is really hitting very deeply for me. So I'm definitely going to get some clarifications here. And as you notice, I've stopped a few times in the video because I am testing. And so I am, excuse me, I'm testing out different microphones because I'm trying to see the best method to get the clearest sound. And I have not been successful. As you could tell, there's like some crackling that happens. And so I'm testing different products and also um, different methods. And so thank you for your patience as I am trying to find out my best method on moving forward. But let's find out. So what is this Eight of Swords position within the heart? What is this entailing? Of course, I would get the Eight of Swords to clarify the Eight of Swords. But overall, I feel like it is around how you kind of filter things through the heart space as you move forward. Which is very beautiful. I love that. It's almost like you are very heart led, and there's like a bent to your heart that actually acts as a map for you, or even a filter at that. And so, um, so going back to what I was saying, that there is something coming in that is going to be very useful in leading you forward. And it could be a different way of doing things. It could be from a different perspective, but it does require your willingness to be open to it. Even if it is from a different method or a different perspective, it requires your openness, your ability to open up this gift or this position of leadership that has been purposed for you in this lifetime. Very much depends on your ability to be open in that way when it comes to the heart space. And then lastly, let's take a look from a soul perspective. And this is taking a look into the deepest parts of your being, the very essence, the core of your being. From a soul perspective, the placement that you stand in right now is from actually the Wheel of Fortune. This particular placement, operating from a soul perspective within you, is actually leading to the giftings that would flow from the Ten of Wands. And so when we talk about the soul, I feel like we're talking about the very essence of our being. It's like the spiritual man, right? We've looked at the heart, we've looked at the mind, we've looked at the body, and now talking about the spiritual man that you operate in. It's almost like your spiritual suit. Um, so in terms of like superheroes, right? They all have a specific type of superhero outfit or a suit that they put on that enables them to operate or function at the highest calling that they've been given as that superhero. And so in that way, our soul, I see it in that way. That's just from my perspective. Our soul is almost like that suit that we put on, right? That allows us to operate from the spiritual perspective, or in a capacity that helps us to carry out our spiritual purpose, our spiritual existence. And your placement, your actual energy in that place is actually the wheel of fortune. So, from a spiritual standing, a spiritual perspective, it's almost like there's a very heavy energy of cycles, a heavy energy of karma that you operate in, that's playing out in your spiritual um, being. And this brings in the energy of cycles of life, the direction that life could be going in, ebbs and flows. Definitely a play on good energies coming in on your behalf, like fortune, good luck, favor, right? It's that kind of energy. And so, in the spiritual aspect, I feel like there's a heavy level of influence that you carry to affect things. Everything that you come into contact with, there's a heavy level of influence that you carry within the universe. Because you could be definitely someone who is very highly ranked, and you carry this energy with you. But at the same time, you are also subject to that same energy, right? Whereas the average person would consider themselves um, at the pleasure, or um, at the service of karma. I almost feel like there's a level of influence in that, the way that karma is actually in operation, with this energy that you stand in. Yeah. And that may very well be because there is a level of acceptance that you have embraced. There's a level of acceptance that you have embraced and released. And what the Wheel of Fortune tells me is that in your heart, like, you have an incredible place of contentment and reception for, how things flow. And because of that high level of contentment, it's almost like you have this very special connection um, with the universe, with God, that actually um, co-signs everything that happens. It's almost like everything that happens actually, in some way, shape, or form, turns out for your overall benefit. And really, the truth of the matter is that's true for everybody. What makes it difficult is when we fight that, when we fight and try to control things and try to have things happen in our own way. And I feel like there is a high level of acceptance that you've cultivated within your heart that actually creates this very harmonious energy, this very harmonious existence with life, with the flow of life. And so, what looks like this very fortunate position or this very fortunate disposition is really your ability to really um, accept, things as they come and release things as they go and not try to control things or get all bent out of shape when things don't go your way. It's this very humble energy that's open and receiving and connected to the divine. That's very receptive of success in the moment, right? And being able to do what's needed to bring in that success. As you see, we have the wheel here. And so it's almost talking about like the energy of being able to control a ship, And I think that's very significant here because this shows that within your spiritual position, like you have possibly resigned that, to your higher power in trust, in faith. And because of that, as things are unwinding, as life is taking its turns and its twists, as the wind blows and, the rain comes down, as things change, and, as life, the chances of life are taken, we see the dice here. When the dice are rolled, whatever happens, there is a level of acceptance and trust and grace that is shed, on you spiritually. And so that in turn looks like this very highly favored position when really it's just your submission to circumstance on any given day, in any given moment. And because you stand in this very fragile place of balancing, this is bringing in the gifting through the Ten of Wands. It's not feeling like you have to even enter into an energy of manipulation or even feeling the need to have to enter into that energy, And so because of that, you're embracing the unraveling of, whatever comes your way. Because of your ability to embrace it, the gifting coming in through the Ten of Wands is very much going to be your ability to actually be very resilient. It's the gifting of resilience. It's the gifting of fluidity. It's the gifting of usefulness and utilization and reaching your full potential. Here we have a full basket. It's a full basket of aspects of being utilized, aspects of yourself that is to be utilized. It's full. And it's being able to unleash and use every aspect of yourself to the fullness of your potential. No matter how heavy that seems or how bittersweet that is, it's being able to utilize every aspect. It's also the strength that comes along with carrying The Ten of Wands many times represents a heavy load. It signifies a level of strength to be able to carry everything that you've been given. And accepting the burden of responsibility and also understanding the fulfillment and the honor in being able to do that, right? Going back to the crown of coins, being able to carry the responsibility that comes along with everything that you've been given, good or bad, however you perceive that. And from a different perspective, this load that you carry, that's overflowing, with energy and with you know sustenance from your spirit. It's being able to maintain and sustain that and also share that load with others. Some of this may actually present a challenge, maybe especially the hard parts of what it is that you've been given to carry. It may not even be something that's offerable. It seems so heavy. It may not even be something that's desirable. So it may in fact end up being something that's hard to share. Nevertheless, you've been given the ability, the skills, the giftings to do that. Maybe to take something that's very heavy and loathsome and turn it into something that looks really easy. I almost get the energy of grace and skill. Like what was difficult, you make it look very seamlessly easy and you do it with grace. And not that it's anything within you, but it's through the leading of where you are, what you're being given through spirit on how to do this, right? You make it look really easy. You carry it with grace. And that's a gift. That's the gift, is the fact that you carry your load gracefully. And I'm getting the picture of a swan, one of the most graceful creatures that has been created. That's the energy that I'm getting here. It's a picture of a swan just kind of gracefully doing and existing. Yeah. So from a soul level, I, I get this very weighty energy, but it's being carried with such grace and it's being made to look very easy. It's very resilient energy that I'm feeling from the soul aspect of where you stand right now. And so I could be talking to someone who does a bit of agricultural or someone who likes to actually get their hands dirty into agricultural work. That could be a way that you actually make a living. I could be speaking to someone who actually does spiritual work with the land as well. hmm I could even be talking to someone who loves to do crafts, like I'm getting some type of weaving or crocheting. There's some type of creativeness that you do with string. Um, yeah, I'm getting a very crafty like energy, like something that you're very good with your hands, very tactile. You have very good instincts, primal instincts, very tapped into the earth, to your body. Um, and so and so the next two cards are coming in from a worldly perspective, like what the world holds valuable, the world's crown, and then the possible challenges around that, the opportunities that are presented to manifest out of that place or that energy. And so the Two of Swords is actually um, the energy that's coming in from the world's perspective, what the world sees as valuable for you. And it brings in the energy of choice, having to make choices, especially when there are dilemmas at play. It's almost like having to choose which is the lesser evil, having two things of the same or possibly similar value um, or respect, and having to make a choice between them and having to determine which one will bring the greater benefit. And as you look at this card, there's like a dimming of the moon. And that's almost like the energy of having choices that make it hard to see the difference or the imbalance between them. Um, and so it's really having an opportunity to dig in deep. And this is not the energy of just popping off a choice and just going about your business. No, this is really deliberating, taking a close look, maybe even making a list of the pros and the cons to bring in a level of clarity. Sometimes, even there might be situations that will not come forward with a direct answer. And so it's almost like um, by whichever one presents itself, in that moment, going forward and just kind of taking a look at the consequences because there's no evident way to determine which one would be beneficial or most detrimental. And so it's kind of taking chances and seeing what the result will be. And it's also understanding that they're really, when it comes to life, it's learning the greatest value being that there really is no right or wrong answer. There is only choices and experiences that come from those choices. You know, all of our choices will actually bring some level of challenge and opportunity to grow in that decision. And so this is not allowing being stuck in unsure energy to paralyze you. But pick up a sword, choose one, and move forward. The world brings that energy. And I definitely understand that, especially with all of the potential that exists in the world, all of the different opportunities that you will be granted the opportunity to make decisions around. And it's not being overwhelmed by them, but picking up your personal power in those decisions, your personal truth, and pushing forward with that. The challenge is that you'll have many. The seven of vessels, it gives you so many different opportunities. And it's almost like taking a really good look, sorting through those opportunities and looking at them really closely for what they are. Even doing some introspection in this process, taking a look at yourself and asking, why are you choosing certain things, or why would you consistently have a certain type, and continue to make that same choice, which leads to the same decisions sometimes until you learn the lesson to choose something different and end up with a different result, right? It's exploring all of that which teaches you about yourself. The world teaches you about yourself, basically. And it causes you to have to do the work, the soul work, the shadow work, the self reflection, the choices that are going to present opportunities for challenge and growth. This is the energy that the world is bringing in. Have you ever heard of the saying, the world is your oyster, or the world is your playground? That's true. Lots of lessons and experiences to be learned through what's being offered. This is the very antithesis of what is being played out in the world. And this shows up as a possible blockage. It shows up as an opportunity to manifest power in your ability to choose and learn from your choices and the directions and the paths that you have chosen to embark upon. The question is, for someone, I feel like the question is the matter of right and wrong. That's coming in very strong. There's a question of the matter of right and wrong. And that could be one of the restricting areas that is coming into play for someone here, is weighing, right and wrong. And that's definitely something that will definitely need to be addressed and looked at. And so it's identifying what that means for you. And we all take a look at life differently. We all come in with different beliefs and different ideologies. We all come in with different upbringings, different ways that we've been trained to think a certain way. And so that becomes a very important part of how we live life and how we pursue life, our goals and our dreams. That very much is relevant. So for someone, I'm hearing that's a very heavy part of where you are right now and how you're receiving and perceiving the world. Yeah, and so this could be a very um, pivotal point in someone's life um, as these questions are arising. There comes times in life where we go through conscious transitions that cause us to see things differently and to weigh what it is that we believe, to weigh our truth, and how we actually live that. And so I feel like this is one of those moments for someone. It's definitely one of those moments as truth is being weighed from how you view the world, your perspective on the world overall. And so the world's crowd is bringing in this kind of energy. And as far as the spirit that is coming in from the world is the Nine of Coins. This is what is being presented. And what is being offered for you to actually manifest from this Nine of Coins is the Four of Vessels. And so from the world's spirit, we can also interpret this as what is currently being presented or addressed at face value, and possibly blockages that could be presented as well, spiritually, from a worldly perspective. And so, what's being presented universally is the Nine of Coins, the energy of independence, the energy of self-sufficiency. It's almost like the keys to the kingdom, the keys of freedom, being able to provide for yourself, and also maintain a level of self-respect as well. It's bringing in the energy of letting you know that you are worthy of all of that and more. Success, pleasure, enjoying the fruits of the rewards that you've worked for. And so this is bringing in the energy of you being a sovereign being. You have the ability to do that. And I feel like that's what's being reflected from the world spiritually to you. So the universe is bringing in this energy for you to work with. But it's also letting you know that though you are worthy, you're capable of bringing this in. It's not something that's automatically just owed to you or given to you. Like, you have to, number one, work for it, and also you have to appreciate it and appreciate where you are right now, even before you get to this level of achievement. Right? It's appreciating all that you have, those things that you have had that no longer have. And in light of the fact that it does not have to be that way, it's keeping that in mind and keeping a spirit of gratitude for what you have, not getting stuck in comparison or kind of trying to lift yourself up because you may have something more than the next person, but it's keeping a spirit of humility is what the world is bringing in this energy, but it also wants you to be aware of how you receive it and how you perceive what it is that you have available to you spiritually and otherwise. And the opportunity that you get to manifest from this brings in the energy of passion and like an explosion of energy, emotional overwhelm. But it's taking that and realizing that and not allowing yourself to be overcome with everything that's happening, not allowing yourself to be too outpouring of yourself or what it is that you've been given. Understand that what you have to treasure it. It's providing a level of self fullness in what it is that you have, and continuously understanding that there's the need to replenish yourself, not just give, 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 give. Even though you may stand in a position of being a resource, it's not allowing yourself to just give until you're depleted of everything that you are, of everything that you've been given. So, with this energy of sovereignty, it's also bringing in the energy of Saturn, where Jupiter wants to go out and do everything for everyone and experience everything. Saturn brings in the energy of restriction and bringing in boundaries and putting up walls to protect and to maintain responsibly. And it also brings in the energy of possibly having to acquire a new container. Early in the reading, we were talking about the five of vessels, talking about the container that you've been given and how you can carry forward with what's left. Even though there could have been things that was lost, it's about what's left and cultivating that and carrying that forward. A big part of that is the type of container that you're choosing to house it in. And this is talking about that, the possible need for a new vessel to bring forth a new way of life, a new way of creating and understanding and taking the nostalgia of what was experienced in the past, or a passion, something that was invested with thoughtfulness and with deep thought and consideration for a solution for what would come in the future, and carry it forward, not only to fruition, but carry it forward at a more expedient pace, right? And so it brings in solutions to what was recognized. To what was recognized, possibly from past bloodlines, from past generations. It's bringing in this energy to ensure success, that you don't get caught up in things that were proven not to work from those that came before you. And so the world is bringing in that spiritual connection in that way, bringing things into perspective for you that would make sense, and how you can create a system or a way of being that will be able to house everything that you've been given, and in a way that would avoid anything from being leaked out or lost, without you even realizing what's happening. It's being cognizant of every angle, and so this is beautiful. I love this. I love this. And so I did pull a couple of oracle cards, and the oracle cards are going to take a look at the core of what is being brought from the world. You know how we look at our core, at the very core of who we are, is the essence of our being, of our the things that we hold most dear, the things that actually allow us to evolve into who we are. And so taking a look at the world around you, the oracle card I pulled at the world's core is the circle of eternal joy. So, at the very essence of the world that you live in, the energy brings this energy of something or someone who holds the value in life synonymous with happiness and joy that continuously repeats, a circle of eternal joy. It's almost like timelessness, being in a loop, right, of continuous joy. But I want to take a look at what that means. And so this is talking about the feeling that's being brought to you. And this feeling is a feeling of anticipation that actually inspires a level of movement, a level of dance within you. Um, and it's almost pointing to this portal. If you could see that right behind her, it almost looks like a moon, but actually it's a portal that actually leads to another space. It leads to another place or an energetic frequency, and that pulls into this unknown space or this unknown action taking place. They'll call it a vortex. And this is a place of power where both intention and vibrations are the tools to actually get you from the point where not only just you, but your ancestors have traveled from into this place of the unlimited possibilities that were shared here today. In this picture, we have a dove, though it doesn't look like it. It's a little scratchy, but it in fact is a dove. It's symbolic of the eternal spirit or this divine consciousness that actually moves us through space and time, right? Or we could call it spirit, basically. That same element that lies within each of us, our spiritual nature, or that element or that string that actually connects us through time and engages us in this dance that this card is talking about, the dance of life, this repetition that we experience, these rebirths, right? Each time, each turn of this dance, of this life, and every day brings forth this opportunity for joy, right? It's how we look at things and how we perceive it will determine if we're enjoying it or if it's a drag. It's how we're looking at it. And so this is like a reminder to understand that the reason why we've come to experience both happiness, right? We've come to experience all of the strings of emotions that are available within the human body. That's why we've been given them. But this is tapping into happiness. You have come in this lifetime to hone in on your ability to experience happiness and self mastery, right? Being open to whatever there is that still needs to be learned, but never forgetting to allow yourself to be open and experience the height of your power, allowing your spirit to roar. And so this card is bringing in a bit of encouragement and guidance to understand that life is not on a timeline. It's not something that's limited. Life is really eternal. And there's always this connection to the spiritual. And no matter what we could be going through at any space or moment in time, we can still find joy in it, no matter what it is. We can still find purpose in it. We can still find a level of understanding in it as we dance through it, through the current moment in life. It's all a matter of choice. This could also be a literal message to allow you to allow yourself to dance more, to move your body. Movement of your body actually also releases restrictions within our subconscious, within our physical body, within our spiritual body. Maybe it's time to go and take some dance classes to find joy in movement, to find joy in music. This also could be some type of upcoming celebration that you're about to have. This is letting you know to take full opportunity of this opportunity to dance and to free yourself from any restrictions that might be trying to stifle your movement in life. Yeah. Remember to find your bliss in small moments, and they're available. It's a matter of choosing them, but you're being reminded to find them and claim them. Let yourself be free. Let yourself dance. Let yourself laugh. Let yourself sing. Let yourself enjoy. It's like a vortex that's always moving and flowing. You just have to jump in it. It's all about perspective. And so, from the world of healing for you, I got deep emotions. This is a very emotional message here for someone. And these deep emotions are tapping into the unknown feelings or past life influences, right? And so, this is a welcoming to, again, that side of life that most people will never explore. Deep emotions, unknown feelings, past life influences. There's a sacred triangle that she has above her head. I hope you can see that. That represents the trinity of time. We have past, present, and we have future. And outside of that triangle, it's surrounded by the circle of eternity. And that's reminding of the unending nature of life, or the cycle of life that never ends. It's continuous and it is connected. This card is bringing also the attention of, it looks like it's almost like underwater. It's like a bluish, greenish hue. It's creating the imagery of the ocean underwater, and the fact that the layering that the ocean has with all of its currents and different speeds and directions that the water takes. These layers of movements and vibrations are almost like the emotions that we feel. Water is always connected to life in some type of way or another. It talks about emotions and our fluidity, our ability to tap into the innermost depths of ourselves. And this card is inviting us to understand our own patterns of motivation and how we react to things, and to really take a look and recognize how we're affected by the things going on beneath the surface, just like that ocean, right? It's not just what you see on the top, but there's so much activity going on below, different currents, that are happening beneath the surface of the water. On the top of the water, it may very well look calm, but underneath there's all kinds of surfs, currents at different speeds going on. Or the very opposite could be true. It could be very choppy on the top of the water, but underneath it could be very calm and serene. And so this card is bringing us to understand the deeper level of what's happening below the surface. Unknown feelings, past life influences. There could be profound feelings that may not even be identified or recognized, or it could just be being ignored. Maybe it's not even being faced. But that doesn't mean that they don't exist. And it doesn't mean that they're not in operation. It doesn't mean that they're still not strong enough to direct destiny, whether we want them to or not. Emotions like longing, desirement, or attachment, or even fear, like could send our lives in a completely different direction than what it is that we are desiring for ourselves. And so, with those types of influences heavily active within us, it's understanding where they come from, why they're happening, whether or not they're even attached from us, or is it a past life thing? Whatever the origin of these emotions are, it's guiding us to not be stuck with them forever. And the only way to do that is to take an honest look at them, take an honest look at the patterns that are happening, and identify those undercurrents of emotions that could be misdirecting. Acknowledging when we are faced with them that we have the power and the strength to release any toxic emotions and let go of any longing or desire or need that's not serving our highest good. And call upon help when we need it. Call upon help, the power that we've been given to affect our own eternal spirit to navigate these truths within the depths of our being. The power that we hold on a soul level actually transcends all limits in the physical. Time, space, these energetic currents. Our spiritual power overrides what we're experiencing in the physical, but it goes back to perception. And it's allowing ourselves to feel the depths of what's there, the peace that's available when we're conscious. And we take advantage of those conscious moments to really choose joy in our present circumstances. That's where it begins. This moment in time that we're experiencing is one small moment that exists. It's just one small drop of life. But we can't separate it from the vastness of the ocean that is our eternal life, our eternal truth. And so what we choose to do with it, even that little small drop, has the ability to affect the whole, and so it's being conscious. It's also taking the power and the control to direct with what we've been made aware of, and choose power, choose peace over powerlessness. Yeah, we have the power to direct our lives more than we realize. And so overall, I feel like this is really talking about your ability to um, call in what it is that you need. Call in joy, right? When you understand what's happening on a deep level, that's that's the beginning of the success of the battle. Knowing is half the battle. Now that you know, now what can we do here to make things different? You know, and it's utilizing what's being brought. And I feel like that could be different for each of us. You know, one person may choose a different path in order to fulfill whatever it is that they've been given to do and the experiences that they've been given in life. Another person may choose something very opposite, right? And it's going to be different for everybody, but it's letting you know that you hold the power to determine what that looks like, what those limits are, right? And however you choose to go and embark upon this part of your journey, do it with joy, do it with power, do it with, this empowerment that is given to us through our enjoyment for life and our acceptance of it, right? That's where that energy of dance comes in. It's the energy of celebration and victory. And, it's that idea of pronouncing over your life that you are victorious. Doesn't mean that the patterns won't show up. It doesn't mean that those old generational cycles won't show up in your time and existence. But when they do, it's understanding that you have been given the tools, you've been given the knowledge and the awareness on how to overcome them and redirect and shift things. That's a heavy responsibility, but you've been given that here. And so, with that being said, I am going to end it there. And thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you allowing me to speak into your life. As you know, I don't take it lightly. And so until next time, this was a spread about the winter solstice, the energies that's coming in. The winter solstice, any solstice is really about this transition that's happening. Either it's from darkness to light or from light to darkness. It's almost like a shift of seasons. And as things are coming in and changing things, and a greater level of understanding is coming in, a greater level of power to direct how it is that we'll move forward in this next season is coming in. And so that is very much what has been experienced here in this layout. And so, again, if it does not resonate, don't try to make it resonate. But if it does, wonderful. I hope I've said something that is helpful on your path, on your journey. And if you have questions, definitely put them in the comment section. If you pose your questions or you make a comment, please reread them and make sure. I know sometimes our phones will spell check for us. And by the time we end up spelling out a sentence and post it, we look back and find out that we just posted something that made absolutely no sense because of our spell checker. So please take a moment just kind of look over what it is that you're putting in the comments and make sure that it is making sense. And so thank you so much for your time and your patience. Like, share, comment. If you're new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe for upcoming messages. And so until next time, if you are desiring a personal reading, definitely go down to the links in my description box and click on my calendar and look at a time that works for you. I would be happy to get to know you better. If you're looking to support the channel by way of donation, that is also very much appreciated. I would love that as well. You're welcome to do that too. So until next time, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate your presence. It has been my pleasure in bringing this reading for the winter solstice. What's happening right now in the inner and outer energies and how they're influencing and affecting us. All right. So next time, I look forward to seeing you. Good night. It has been Letty Speaks. And so thank you for stopping by.